We got a fun one today, folks. We got a local roofer in the house, a guy that's all about personal development, culture, leadership, personal growth, right? I'm
Yeah.
all about it. This
Yeah.
guy is very inspirational. I got to see this guy grow from just a young entrepreneur to what you are now. I've seen you grow in a pretty cool sales organization, the way you handle it and the culture that you guys have grown there. That's very competitive and uplifting, motivational. So this is Jose Herrera with New Era Roofing and Solar now too, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, my man. Thank you for joining us
Yeah.
into the studio on the Roofing Operating System podcast out here in Colorado.
Excited, my brother. I'm really excited to connect with you.
So you're an inspirational dude, all right? So
Okay.
I picked these up here on Amazon. We got some wristbands, okay? So I need you to look through these and pick the one that's vibing here. They all got a different message here.
Okay.
All right. We'll get a positive flow going right off the bat. We're
Let's
about
see.
to drop some
It's-
bombs, baby.
The first one already was probably the one I'm going to go with.
I'm curious what you're going to pick because I've seen most of them, so we'll see.
Okay. Whew. It's between those two. It's our positive attitude will lead to a positive outcomes. Winning mindset is one of our core values.
Boom.
All right, I'm going to have to go with we become what we think about.
I like that. I like that. And that's something good to remember, right? If you're in a spot where, hey, maybe you're not getting the outcomes that you want, maybe change what you're thinking about. It's easy to get stuck on the negative, but focus on the wins, stack the wins, win the day, and get on a winning streak. All right. So, how old were you when you first started New Era, and how old are you now?
I was 23 years old. 23 when I started New
So
Era.
you knew nothing, basically. You knew nothing,
No,
basically.
and even before that, bro, I was only in the roofing industry for 2 years. So
Yeah.
it was very naive jumping
Yeah.
into New Era roofing. And now I'm 30 years old, just turned 30 in April.
Nice. How does it feel?
It feels good,
Feel
man.
fresh?
So much growth has happened since then.
Oh yeah, and then that's one thing that is crazy. You look at when you first get started. You knew
Yeah.
nothing when you were 23, right?
Yeah.
I think I was 24 or 25.
Oh, I knew nothing when I was 27.
Dude. But you probably at 26 probably thought you knew everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's how it goes in
Yeah.
business, right? Especially if you're younger, all of a sudden you start to figure some things out. You start to get cooked. You
Mm-hmm.
get a little bit of ego, maybe, or also you get back to reality. Because no matter what, how great you get, it's up and
It's
down,
always like
up
that, bro.
and down.
It's
You think
always
you're a
like
superhero, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you think you're a zero. You know what I mean?
And I think that's been like the biggest challenge for me, bro, because when I'm up, like I didn't realize how much like ego I actually had. And I don't think a lot of us do when we're young, but bro, it was like fueled. It was like I was adding gasoline to the fire every single day because I thought we're winning, we're doing good, nothing wrong can ever go again.
Yeah.
And then something wrong would happen, bro, and it's crash. And it was like the death of ego in that moment. It was like me trying to see, do I really belong? Should I keep pushing? And that's because it's like the what they say, it's don't let your highs get too high or your lows get too low. Like as
keel.
much as you can, even keel.
And I think the best way to even keel is, right, I think sometimes I do this, bite off too much so I can chew. I get upset if I can't get everything done, which was impossible. I'm like, I want to get 3 years of work done in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh,
The
my
patience.
Yeah. It's like, be patient, be realistic, focus on the wins, right? Rely on your team. It's not the end of the world, right? And you have to remember when something hits the fan, it's for you to stay cool, right? It's for you to stay cool
Yeah.
and set the tone for the team. That's how they're going to handle that stressful situation
Yeah.
and how they're going to perform.
And I think that's where like my leadership has really evolved, because when things weren't going good, when at the end of the month and I didn't have the money to pay for the expenses that were coming up, for the W-2s, for the crews, I really like, my mom used to tell me this thing that I drowned in a cup of water.
Oh, yeah.
And I really did, bro. I started to overthink, like everything that's bad about to happen. I'm going to lose my team. I'm going to lose the office. So what happened is that I wouldn't regulate all of that, what's really going on. And that energy would push me to, and that's the energy that I would take to the office. And during our meetings, the team would feel that energy from me. Okay, we need to do this. We need to, but it's coming from a place of fear, bro.
Yeah.
And they could all feel it, bro. And we would go out to door knocking. We would still like not be as good because it's all the energy that I'm leading with is from fear.
We come to work, we're super stressed out. We start to take things out on people because we're not getting the results that we want, even though it's probably our fault. And all of a sudden, everybody feels that.
Yeah.
So if you're able to switch it, become even keel, be relaxed, and then actually have a plan for them to execute. A lot of times we're not giving the team the plan. And then when it comes to accountability, we don't have the data, we don't have the performance records, everything like that to keep them accountable. So now we're just yelling at them.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like leaders, we want everybody to win. We want to serve everybody deep down. But what happens is we take on too much, or we want to try to make everybody happy, and then when we don't, we can start to get down on ourselves. It's like, oh, I suck. Everybody's,
Yeah.
I want everybody to win. It's like, but now you're just drowning your own pity because you're like this perfectionist, and that's what a lot of leaders struggle with.
Yeah.
So was it just more routine? Was it more just what kind of helped you get more even keel?
I think I'm still learning a lot of it because I think like they say new levels, new pains, right? Though I think what really has helped me, brother, is like me understanding like where, and I keep going back to energy, but I've like really into
That's your thing.
yeah,
right
that's
now,
like my thing, right? And my energy around that time, bro, was really dependent on like I wanted to be such a great leader and I cared so much about my people, but what I didn't realize is that a lot of my leadership was being led from like pride, and I wanted to be the guy that people came
There you
to.
go. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I created an environment where, yes, I allowed people to grow and allowed people to become leaders, but at the end of the day, like I still had the answers for everything.
Yeah.
So no matter what happened, like if there was even the smallest fire, people would come to me for looking for those answers, and that
They
would
give you
fuel,
value.
that would
Yeah.
fuel me as a leader. And I started to realize like this is not scalable whatsoever. When I really want to go to the next level of my business, I'm gonna get to a point, bro, where I can't be the one that has all the answers.
Exactly.
I have to be okay with what they say is like truly hiring people that are smarter than you and they have better strengths in different areas of your life. So I think that was the first part, bro. Me letting go of a lot of like the attachment to be the leader. And then the second thing is really like realizing because I can't do this on my own, can I grow other leaders within it and not be afraid to, I think so many leaders are afraid of like handing off or not saying everything because they feel if this person learns everything, they're just going to start their own thing. And I think that just comes with great leadership. With great leadership, you're going to lose people because now they believe in themselves. Now they have the systems to start something. But you had a lot to do with that. So if people are leaving your company and doing something successful, you had something to do with that, right?
And you're still getting ROI from
exactly,
that, right?
exactly.
You just still create an attractive culture that more people will come in, more leaders will come in.
And because once you create those leaders inside the companies, the ones that actually stay, well, people, the proof is in the pudding, right? If they only see that the leader's doing great and only the leader's gaining money, but none of the other team members are, then they know the company's capped.
Yeah.
Versus them seeing, hey, these leaders are growing, like all the people in there are like getting new levels of financial success, not only financial success, but they believe in themselves, they love themselves. And then that's like very attractive.
100%. And I'll say this, I've done 3 startups, right? And bootstrapping each one where you're starting ground zero, you're being creative, all that kind of stuff. One of those companies perform the worst when I'm doing everything, when I have all the hats, right?
Yes.
And as soon as I start to get people who are willing to take some of those hats off my plate, all of a sudden your performance goes through the roof. It's crazy. And so when you can focus on what you're actually good at, it goes through the roof. And the best thing is when you get really good people where you just check in on them here and there, and you know that they're getting it done.
Yeah.
It's because you have the processes in place. You've instilled the confidence in them. You've let them succeed at something that they're better at than you.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden that area is thriving better than it was before. It's crazy. All of a sudden it's like, boom.
Yeah.
It's great people, right? They need to get inspired. They need to be put in a position to be successful, and then they'll take care of it from there.
Yeah. And you said something key there, bro. And I feel like I did this big time. You said that they need processes. And I feel like in the beginning, there's a lot of systems that you're creating within the company as you're growing.
A lot.
So what we do is we hire people just to fill a role and figure it out as we go, and then we'll work on it together.
Yep.
And I don't think that's the best way to hire people. Like to truly hire someone and for them to be successful in a specific position, we need to put on our boots, like figure out what that system looks like, figure out what the SOPs look like so that we have a roadmap to give this person. And then that person can perfect it. If they're in that leadership role, they can perfect it as they go versus, hey, go out there and let me know how you figure this out. And then eventually we end up getting mad at that person or that person's mad at us because they didn't have a system. We didn't really know what they're following. So that relationship ends where it could have been a really beautiful relationship.
Yeah, 100%. And when we talk about technology, when we talk about CRMs, all this stuff, technology, that's great. But at the end of the day, it's deeper than that because that's just a tool that's going to support it at scale, right? And so that's just a tool. What's behind it is so much more important, right? So the process and the thought that goes into it, the mundane thinking about refinement, right? So it's not it takes discipline, it takes dedication, otherwise you're not going to see the results that you want. It is what it is, right?
And that's where patience comes in, bro. And that's something that I never knew. I'm actually not really good friends with.
Oh yeah.
And like we as leaders and visionaries and like guys that start companies, like they want to blow up right away and they want to get 20, 30, 40, 50 mil right away. So that's what happens is that we don't have the systems in place for people. So we think we're going to solve the problems just by I'm not good in accounting, so I'm going to bring in an accountant, which is, but at the end of the day, like you still have to know how to read a P&L. Like I have to learn how to read P&L. I'm going to bring in a sales guy. This guy's really good at sales. I'm not at sales, but if that sales guy doesn't know what he's going to do or doesn't have the proper script or knows your values or the system, doesn't matter how good that sales guy is. He doesn't know what your system is. So there's never going to be any accountability.
He didn't come in to create sales processes,
Exactly.
right? He's not your VP of sales. He's a salesman and he wants to go make money selling.
Yeah.
And so that's what you have to do. And one thing I've been preaching this lately is when you're talking about the SOPs, a good way to do it is just to get everybody that's involved in a room, put on Zoom or some kind of recording, right? And record the whole process. Okay, so lead comes in. Who takes the phone call? Who puts it into the CRM, right? All right, then what happened? Every single step. And then if that role is not there yet, so ideally in the future, who would do this, right? And then you can build out that hierarchy and that flow from new lead to close. And then what you can do is you can take that transcript to an AI tool and they'll give you a mind map of both of them. And now you see a visual of everything you need
the
to
entire
see.
process. And really, bro, we're adults. We're kids stuck in adult bodies. So like even those systems, like something that I've learned, I know it's like sometimes, hey, we just have to knuckle down and do this. And I know it's going to hard. It's going to suck. And then we're going to be here for a couple of hours, but we got to get this done. And if it's always like that and we never created for us creating our SOPs and a system has become a little fun now for us because we use Loom, like a bubble charts. And we don't only have bubble charts, bro. We actually have sticky notes. And as a team, bro, we're like putting it on the wall and making something fun out of it because the way like any sales rep, like I learned this from sales, like when you're training a sales rep, bro, the 3 magic words that any sales rep can say is, I get it. If it's a simple sales process, but we try to give them like a huge broken out process that doesn't make sense for them. And we still learn like kids. So when we're creating an SOP process, we sit down as a team, just like you said, and I'm going to copy what you said, like doing a Loom, and we're going to put down the sticky notes, bro. We're going to color code. Hey, this is production. This is sales. This is accounting. Hey, who's responsible for here?
Colors.
So we're like all in it. It's like a creative act that we're doing as a team. And now the team feels like, hey, we created this together. And not only, yes, was it hard? We did it for a couple of hours, but it was also fun. And remember, we don't remember what people said. We remember how it made us feel. So if in that moment of generating that process, there was some fun to it, they're going to remember it.
100%. And I want to give a shout out to a client I just got to work with, actually, Green Tech out in Tampa. So they were looking for more of a sales training experience, if you will. And so their goal was basically get them up and running quicker, increase close rates. And so basically we put together a trainual, right? And it's like a 9-day sales accelerator. And so it's got like hours of content and videos that they can either just stand up and discuss, or they can just have the sales rep do some of that on their own with hands-on experience type stuff, role plays, objection scenarios, product knowledge stuff, or you name it, like it's all in there, broken down into 9 different days with quizzes and final exams and hands-on like experiences that they actually have to pass.
Yeah.
And just equipping somebody with that stuff and then give them a little bit of a toolkit where they can put some of that stuff every day with them. It can simplify the process so much easier for them.
So much easier. And adding to that, bro, is still being like the leader that checks it, not just thinking that the system, the tech is going to solve their entire problem, bro. Because right now, especially, we've already been in an internet world, technology world, but we're now leading into an AI world. And the more that we're leading into just tech, bro, like people need and are going to crave more of that human connection.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something I realized, bro. Like it's tech plus that human connection, because that's what's really going to accelerate the person. Because if
100%.
we're only watching, like we're going back to school, like most of these sales guys, they hated school.
Yeah.
So if all they're going to do is they're going to sit down and watch it, which is part of our requirement, and that's all they're going to do.
Quicks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to quit. They're going to feel like I can't do this. This is a lot of information. But if there's that like VP of sales, or if there's that person holding you accountable, that's, hey, we got this. Let's do this together. Let's
and splitting it up hands-on.
Exactly. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. You just gotta switch it up and keep it engaging. And for the videos, it's gotta be short videos, like 2 or 3 minutes. It's like a long email. No one reads your long emails. Sometimes I'll do that and they don't care. You know what I mean? So What about you for sales? I think that's one area that you guys have had a pretty cool experience in terms of building a sales team, kind of like a little bit of an army type vibe. You guys are working out together, going to the Aspire events I saw, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about the vision on that, on that when you first started it and what that looks like now.
It goes well. There has a lot to do with like all the learning I've learned about myself, bro. And if there's one word that summarizes like the last 8 years is transformation, like real transformation, bro, like sustainable transformation. And the reason I say that is because it's been like a lot of learning and not being the right way. And when I say this is like when we first started, the way that I train sales reps is okay, like we're gonna hustle this out, we're gonna learn the script, and we're gonna put in rep strips. And that's all it was. Like it was all about just the hustling because that's how I learned. And did it work? Yes, but not our goal is not to have 20 guys that are 1% top roofing sales reps. Our goal is to turn in guys that don't know sales into average into good, because that's what's really going to grow the company. So what I mean by this is like not every sales rep is designed just to hustle and to learn in that specific way. And that's where I had to start learning how, not just how I work, but human psychology. We work as humans, bro. Then that kind of elevated into, okay, we need self-development. It's not just about sales. Like we need to grow in every area of our life. So we started to learn, we're going to read books. We're going to start going to the gym. We're going to go to conferences. We're going to do all of these things as a team. And what I realized and I didn't realize this for 2 years, self-development it can start getting very contagious and very fun.
Oh yeah. Sets the
Though,
tone.
yes, exactly. But with too much self-development, the knowledge, it starts to
Overwhelming.
cripple us. And
It's
so,
like, oh, I didn't do this. I didn't read my book. Oh, I didn't go to the gym twice today. Oh,
so
yeah.
the self-development went up, but like our sales and reps and all that started to go down.
Morale.
So that's when I realized, okay, so then maybe it's not just self-development. Maybe we need both. And then we started training like, okay, so we do need to go out there. We need to go put in the number of doors. We need to go do this many hours. And at the same time, we're going to work on self-development. We're going to work on this. We're going to work on that. And then now where we are, like long story short is I really realized, bro, like the only missing part that was missing in my life was like the internal work, like truly the internal work. And a lot of business owners and visionaries and people in our space, like especially as men, we think that's very weak. Like really going in and like seeing what are the emotions that are in there, bro. But once I started to realize, I thought those things were going to slow me down, bro. If anything, those helped me speed up.
100%.
Because like, I'm just more open now. I'm more like, I'm attracting a lot more people that are connected with me. So once I started realizing, okay, this is why there's patience to this, because we're not like true sustainability. Like I can share, like we had a guy that in his first year, he made 150K.
Nice.
His very next year though, he dropped because that was a new line because he didn't because he did that. So now I believe in slow, gradual growth, bro, that eventually you're going to make that much money. We don't hire no more. Hey, come make $150,000. No, come learn how to change your life.
Yeah, 100%. And so the key, and so for me, I think something that I've been good at is setting goals, right? Especially with a good mindset and making sure I achieve them, right? Also, it's like the 100-miler, and we'll talk about your Ironman. I saw it on YouTube, and I was just so polarized by it, and I just knew I was going to get it eventually, just like automatically, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why, though, is if I had a day where I didn't have a good run or a week or whatever it might be, I didn't kill myself on it. And that's what people do. It's like, all right, I'm going to do 75 hard. And then they quit on day 13 and then they just kill themselves. And then they don't go to the gym or they don't. It's like, dude, goals aren't there for you. So for me, I got 4 just daily habits that are kind of like my goals. And each day I just click if I do it. And I can see now since January, how I've done in each one. But I don't kill myself. I feel good when I get them all one day. But it's not like I'm like, I need to get 27 this month or whatever it might be. So you need to be flexible in your goals and allow yourself to enjoy little wins, because your brain gets a dopamine hit and gets addicted to those little wins.
Yeah.
And then you can start to finally relax. And I'll say this, hey, it's June, so that's men's mental health, okay?
Oh,
and I'll say this, not like you're saying, not enough people talk about it. I just had a phone call with some guy, a roofer. I'm not going to say his name, but he posted on Facebook, hey, someone call me. Right. So I called him and he's like, dude, I just feel like I'm a piece of shit. I got no value, blah, blah, blah. But dude, we've all been there, dude. Especially leaders, right? You get so hard on yourself. You give yourself like this pity party because you put so much expectation on yourself. And then when you don't get it, you're like, oh my God, I suck at everything. But so you did all these great things still.
Yeah. And I'm laughing, bro, because I've been through all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the lessons that come with it. And really, like, to anybody like really struggling, because I think not a lot of people talk about how hard this actually is. Like a lot of people, especially in today's era, like you're only going to see the highlight reel on social media. What happens is like we start to question ourselves because there's somebody 10 years younger than us, like doing way more revenue than we are, and we've been in it longer. Or there's somebody like Ironman, right? There's so many guys out there that are working out every single day, and I'm not working out enough. And I think a lot of our depression, man, and not feeling like we're enough comes from the comparison game. And I don't think that's talked about enough. Like I feel like a lot of the times, like we as leaders are led by other people's dreams, other people's goals, where if that we think are going to make us happy, and it's not actually that way. Okay. And because we're not there yet, or because we failed like 75 hard, we failed on the 13th day, we don't just criticize that we couldn't do it. We criticize ourselves as a human being. And that's like the worst thing we can do, bro, because our identity is being questioned.
Yep, exactly. And we could see somebody who's doing massive company, doing it all over social media. They're on stage, they're doing all this stuff. But little do you know, they owe their supplier $2 million and they can't pay it. And they're about to go out of business. Yeah. You have no idea. And so everybody's got their own internal thing. So you can't compare yourself. And don't be looking up to people that are only talking about their wins. You want to be surround yourself by people who have been there, done that, big dogs,
the real
big
deal.
Players,
yeah,
who are also like, hey, but this is how it really is. Type. And they're not talking about stuff. Because a good leader and someone you want to look up to, someone that's not trying to get all the spotlight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. But you're going to be training for an Ironman.
Yes.
All right. I want to see here. What we got here? We got about 20 pounds here, man. Let's stand up for here. And maybe while you're talking, let's see how long this guy lasts for his reps here. Just one here. I'll set the timer and we'll talk about your Ironman. Give me 1 second here. This is one of 2 challenges I have set up for you today. All right. You ready here?
Okay. Yep.
All right. So you got a half Ironman coming up for what, next week?
Next week, yes. It's
So-
going to be on June 14th.
I know you're good. You can set up. I'll figure out the audio. Don't worry about it. But why did you sign up for that?
So the only thing I did was this before, actually. So I actually haven't strength trained in a very long time, so it's already getting hard for me.
yeah.
But before,
Last minute.
before that's all I did, bro. Like it was just strength training, and I actually like. Again, my there was a massive ego, and because I feel like when you start judging others, now I've learned, okay, there's something inside of you that feels like you can't do it. And I used to judge runners. I'm like, no, running is bad for you. It's actually bad for your knees. Yes, I'm like,
you're running.
and I'm like, no, Nick doesn't actually know what health looks like. And so I wanted to try something different, bro. I really wanted to prove myself. I think I seen some Ironman videos. I'm like, no, I can never do something like that. And that's exactly why I feel like I just signed up, bro. I really wanted to challenge myself and see if I could actually do something like this. And this honestly has been one of the best things I've ever signed up.
Okay. Let's go, Andrew. 1 second. You get 130. We'll see. Let's go, man. You just got his new bike set up over here. He's dialed in. Let's see if you can go another 10 seconds. Let's see. Come on. Come on. Feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn, baby. We got 4 seconds. Come on. Give one more. Let's go. 30. Pretty good, man. Excited for you to crush it with the Ironman in.
Yeah, it's in Boulder, so it's a half Ironman. Yeah.
Still, though, it's funny that they call it. It's like such a slap in the face. It's just like half anything. It's like,
Well, I was at the gym. I go to Lifetime, and there was a guy. He had an Ironman cap.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, any tips for me? It's my first time running an Ironman. He started like, he was really like giving me a bunch of information. Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this. And he's like, which one are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing the Boulder. He's like, wait, is that the half Ironman? I'm like, yeah, the 70.3. He's like, oh, that's just a marketing tool that they use so the half Ironmanners don't
feel good.
Don't feel
yeah,
exactly.
It's the worst thing, dude. Yeah, it's funny. These people are sick. It's like, I remember I tried 100 miles the first time.
Yeah.
Dude, and I was not ready. And so I did a 15 before that, but eventually I got 100. But this one, dude, it was like mile 70. My hamstring, what happened is my hamstring was going to pop. That's what the doctor said. So it locked up. It was like a claw. And I was dragging my leg for 35 miles. It's pouring rain, dude. I got like sticks going up this mountain for the last 2 hours, like 2 a.m.
Whoa.
People are like sliding and breaking their sticks because it's so muddy, dude. And I got my leg hurt so bad. It's like 12 ibuprofen, dude. So eventually, in mile 70, it comes up and I start throwing up on the side. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta stop. Like, I couldn't unlock my leg for a month.
Yeah.
And so at 2 a.m, they take this huge blowhorn thing or whatever, microphone, and they're like, Nick Barrett, he has bailed out. He is out. He has dropped out. And then they give you a buckle, like a belt buckle that says that you dropped down. And I was like,
wow. Bro, that's what because I ordered a little Ironman sticker that I want to put in my back of my truck, so I guess now I got to cut half of it.
oh, yeah, right. You don't deserve the full thing. You deserve
It's a
the
half
full
one.
thing. So for those that don't know, what is that? How many miles? What is it all?
Hopefully I get these right, but it's a triathlon. We start with the swim. It's a 1.2 mile swim, and then it's 56 miles on the bike, and then it's it's either 13 or 13.3 mile run, somewhere around there. And then you got to try to do it in under 8 hours and 30 minutes.
Nice. Crush it.
Yeah, thank you,
Crush it.
brother.
Love it, man. So if anybody else is thinking about doing it, get out there. I'm telling you, hey, if you want to feel better, if you're a little stressed out, go for a run.
No, seriously.
Boom.
It's one of the best things that I could have ever done.
It's one of the best things for sure.
Yeah.
Dude. So what? Okay, so okay, go to New Era. What's the vision now of New Era? How's it? It's New Era and solar now, right?
Yeah,
Still a little bit solar. How do you feel about solar?
Yeah, so solar, I still feel like it's a great system.
Yeah.
It's a great industry. The only reason we started solar is because we had a 3-year drought, and we're very storm dependent as a company.
Everybody in Denver.
Yeah. So we added solar because I seen that was like one of the things that we can sell year round.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole lesson in itself, bro, because
Show
it's
off
like
the logo, maybe a little bit.
yeah.
Flip it around here.
So that was like one of the big lessons, that it's like, really, it's not as easy as it seems. Nothing, like, even if somebody's really killing it, then there's obviously, he's been in it for years, she's been in it for years. There's something there. And that was a very huge lesson. But what I really learned, what got out of it, is like solar, bros. I'm not saying that roofing is fake sales. Like, you need sales skills. Solar, though, that's like, you truly learn what objections are. You truly learn how to like overcome, because solar, like, really, some people position it as a need, but it's really more of a want. So you learn how to sell want products, and roofing really is a need product. So I brought in everything I learned from solar sales into the roofing sales, and that really leveled us up. Yeah. So that was really good. And right now where we are is, I've been in it for 8 years, 7, 8 years, like the company. I think, bro, like, one of the biggest things we're at right now is I'm looking for sustainability, not just like hardcore bang doors every single year and know that we have to do that. Like, I still believe that a great door-to-door company will run laps over any marketing company, over anything. I truly believe that. Yeah. Though, like, how truly sustainable is that for guys to last 6 or 7, 8 years and doing that every single year? We are in a place right now, bro, where we're looking to expand into either a different market, to where there is other storms in other areas. We've expanded into commercial, and commercial, I think, is like the best thing that we could have ever learned. Like, we're really gaining some traction there. And we now sell on the fact, like, we call it future sales versus now sales. That's something we teach the guys from the get-go. So our VP of sales, he actually had a record-breaking year last year for him. It was such a really good year for him. 70% of that, the leads came to him.
Yeah.
And that's because of future sales. So we teach our guys, like, hey, future sales is, okay, let's go out to insurance agents, inspectors, realtors, like servicing type of sales, right? This is going to take long term, but if you only do that right now, you're not going to get paid any money. So that's where now sales comes into, where it's like, let's go knock some doors, let's do cold calling, let's get you on Facebook, let's do these types of things. So it's a mixture of both,
right? It's a mixture of farming and hunting. You know, and some people don't like to hunt, some people don't like to farm, but it's like, hey, you got to build a relationship, get people to love you.
Yep.
You talk about human psychology. It's funny because when I started Better Boss, I noticed it when I go into meetings, I just did like an all-nighter. I just worked on the computer for 12 hours and jump in this meeting. I didn't have the charisma. And I started to realize, even though I felt like this is the best service or product I had to offer, because I didn't bring my charisma, some people that I thought would buy didn't buy. And I'm like, man, I think there's some people that literally just really enjoyed our presence. And they also, I think, enjoyed being able to have us as someone to call. So they don't really care as much sometimes about how many hours you spend on the computer for them, but it's like, what information you share, what support can you give, all this kind of stuff. So it's like that human psychology is such a big aspect of it.
And I believe that's all sales is. Like, recently, like, we teach our guys, okay, read these 3 sales books. Here's our script. Here's how we go about handling objections. And let's start getting into like psychology, how the brain works and how humans are wired. Because once we learn how that works, bro, like, we truly come from a place of sales where we're like, it's very transactional sales to a very servant.
Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly. To servant sales, like true leadership out in the sales world.
Or a real consultant,
exactly.
Almost a doctor is getting sure they prescribe you the best thing.
Yeah, and our guys, like, I always say this to our guys, and maybe there's a little ego there, but I always say, okay, like, there's a reason that we haven't had, like, this year we haven't had a storm yet. Like, we're still learning, we're still growing. But when it's time, like, when their storm does come, bro, and like everybody floods to the areas, I know our guys are gonna kill it out there, bro. That's all they've been training on. That's all they've been growing, and they understand. Like, a lot of them, even the newer guys, are starting to understand. Oh, okay, this is why it's important to only ask questions and not just to respond, or not to have these little sales tactics that gets people like confused, right? Like you need those things too, right? But eventually, like it has to get to a point, bro, where you're truly doing it to serve the homeowner and not just to get a sale.
100%. Yeah. I love that. And I think that's why you guys been killing it. But so we'll talk about Denver now. You said everybody went into solar because there's no hill, right? Now everybody, I don't know anything about solar, but
Yeah.
everything, when I talk to them, hey, what do you think of solar now? Everybody goes, man. And they said man. So I'm like, okay.
Meh.
So if it's Denver, is it like, okay, this is what I'm going to tell you what I think. You can tell me what you think. But it's like, all right, so we're still going to take obviously the store work because no one's going to buy a new roof out here retail, right? It just doesn't make sense because it's going to get pelted and you're just going to waste all your money. So until insurance stuff changes, probably do that. But to lower my AR, I'm going to do the financing. I'm going to productize that stuff. And then I'm also going to try to do them some kind of like low annual thing, $6.99 a year. We come twice, you get discounts or repairs or whatever.
Maintenance.
Maybe, maintenance. Oh, we have a rejuvenation product you can maybe use to extend it. All that kind of stuff. Any kind of upsell, any kind of recurring revenue. And then I do commercial and focus on building it out with the maintenance stuff, and then do, like you said, insurance agents, realtors, and then just become local. I was just talking to Aaron Becky. He's out in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and he's always on social media, right? He does a good job, but they do a ton of local events. I was like, dude, you guys are just doing podcasts. I'm hanging out with the plumber, I'm hanging out with this local store, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you should just do a podcast because everybody loves you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now everybody in their area is going to know you.
Yeah.
All the business owners, the people in home services, all that stuff. Like, somebody's got to start doing that more, I think, in the home service space and stuff like that, to be, hey, I am part of the community.
Yeah, to really establish yourself. So we just hired, I didn't realize how important that was. I didn't realize, like, I always obviously knew, okay, social media is the way, the way, podcast is the way, like putting your face out there is more of the way. Though I didn't like truly realize, dude, this is important. Like we need to start establishing our brand out there, that we're not going to get a turnover. We're not going to get a return on investment right away. It's going to take some time. Though, like really establishing yourself as the to-go-to roofer, we need to do that stuff. And I think that's where what commercial has really taught me, bro. Because I can't, like with commercial, bro, I know that this is very long term. Like I'm not going to go in there and expect that on the first time I speak with the front office or the property manager. Most of the time, how are you going to get to the property manager? I'm going to get a sale. I understand and know that it's going to be like 6 to 7 touches with this person over the next year before I even get a chance to go on do a roof inspection. So that really showed me like, okay, now I understand like what I need to do in commercial. Why don't we just apply the same things when it comes to residential and be the person that's like helping the community, do all the events. Our media person, now she's coming out, like our company is really, we love humor. It's our media, a lot of our media is going to be around like humor, trying to make people laugh.
And that's the stuff that does well. Yeah. Dude. It's funny because it's obviously, I love the podcast and people tune in, they'll listen to the trucks all the time. But the reels and stuff like that, they'll like them, but they're never going to actually like them. Also, you post some kind of video meme or something, dude, and it goes viral, right? It's what? Yes, but that's what people want. They want to be entertained. They want cat videos. They want funny, and it is funny when roofing companies do some like the viral trends, and stuff like that.
And that's what gets the hits. That's what, and like our team is mostly made up of 20-year-olds. Yeah, so 100%. I think that's really gonna start like establishing ourselves for, and all the 20-year-olds now about barely buying their homes here in the near future.
Exactly, 100%. And I'll say this too: it's like when you look at B2B and the commercial side. Think about even with me, right? So I've been trying to sell roofers for the last 8 years, right? But I don't go to marketing conferences. I don't go to tech conferences. I penetrate the community. I become part of the community. I hang out with them. I go to their events. I go to all of the roofing events if I can. And you just build genuine relationships where it's like, you know everything about it, right? Yep. You know the lingo and you're there to help. You can do the same thing with just like local communities, right? Where it's like you genuinely just penetrate the community. All right, how can I help?
And bro, that's like the thing, like you should be at the roofing conferences and all that, right? Meeting all the roofers, because that's who essentially that's your niche. With us, one thing that I liked, all of my Facebook and Instagram was roofers.
That's what I remember.
Eventually, like it has to get to a point that, okay, maybe like I started becoming a conference junkie. Like I have all the knowledge. Okay, now it's time to really establish ourselves in the community and become friends with the property manager, become friends with the realtors. And again, it's more of a long-term play. And that's why a lot of people aren't willing to do it, because they want to see the results now. And I get it. Sometimes we need it to pay for the expenses.
Wait, maybe that's something there. I mean, all my vendor friends are hating for this, but maybe only a couple vendor or roofing conferences, and then community stuff.
Yes.
Go to your
Yeah,
target
like do
audience,
the
spend
things,
time
like the
there.
execution,
The
right?
execution of it, right?
Because the conferences don't like a conference is just like reading a
It
book.
can inspire you.
Yeah.
It can remotivate
But if you
you,
don't do anything,
right? Give you a
if
couple
yeah,
ideas, but
if you don't implement or do the action behind the book or in the conference, none of that matters.
that's what I'm trying to get that the growth minded roofer thing going over here. So if you guys are out in Denver, right, I'm trying to get meetups going. We got a decent amount of people signed up, but I'm trying to get a little bit more to really figure out, hey, what do you guys want? It's a little bit more feedback of what you guys want this to all be about, because we're gonna dial it in. We're getting the Avengers over here. So if you're
Nice.
interested, hit me up. All right. So man, I'm gonna let you close us out here.
Okay.
All right. So at the end, make sure you tell them to subscribe and stuff like that. Tell them to win the day, something inspiring. But
Okay.
with words of wisdom, or whatever you want to leave the viewers with, it could be a book, it could be a quote, a life lesson. It is all yours.
I think because it's been like a key topic for me. I actually said it on the last week on a podcast as well, but your energy speaks before you open your mouth. And at times, like we forget to really like work on internally, like what's going on the inside. And we're so influenced by like only like externally looking good. But one of the biggest aha lessons for me, man, is like the more that I truly worked on myself, like not just going to the gym, not just reading a book, but truly working on the inside stuff that I actually fear and being accepting it and then trying to overcome it internally. Then I really started to open up, bro, and more doors started to open up with me without doing extra work.
Think about it. You walk into the sales meeting and you're all stressed out. You're crabby. You didn't close out their deal. You didn't get any money or any profits on the last job. You walk in there, you got an awful attitude, and for some reason you didn't close the deal. Be someone that when you come into a prospects meeting, that they're like almost weirdly excited to see you and hear your pitch, and give them an experience. But I forgot one thing we get to see here. We got the basketball game. Let's see if I can switch some of this stuff over here.
Okay.
We're gonna have one more challenge for you here. Let's see here. We're gonna see here. I might have to move this over here. But we got 3 balls here.
Okay.
I'm gonna set this timer here. What's the highest so far? You're be the first person. I really stopped the games here. I know how to do it. We'll see. Pressure with the. I should get this at patience, right? All right. If you stay in this long, I appreciate you. You guys are the true fans. All right.
You might just have to set a timer.
I think so. Well, there 30 seconds. Okay. Perfect. All right, 30 seconds on the clock. Let's see what he's got. So far, he got 0. Oh, he's got 1. Yeah, the first one, I got bored.
Oh, all right.
2, 3, 4. Let's go. There we go. We got a little bit of flow now. Oh. See what he's got. See what he's got here. See what he's got. Let's see his shot now, guys. His shot. He's got 1. Oh, that's what. What did you end up at?
I believe it was 7 or 8.
All right, we're going down. We'll give him 8. All right, everybody. Later.